Ladies and gentlemen, and this is You Are Immune Against Every Disease by the channel Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Yes, another Kurzgesagt video just I guess an hour ago this was uploaded. I love Kurzgesagt videos because it's a science channel, and any of you who've been watching my video for good enough time now knows that one of my favorite, if not the favorite topic ever is science, anything science related, and Kurzgesagt and Vsauce are the two biggest science channels that I know of. So yeah, Kurzgesagt is, basically how I like how, it's an animated version of explaining science, but Vsauce is more like mind-blown type of thing. So yeah. Didn't he do this? You are immune against every disease. He tackles so many immunity-related topics, so I guess that's why it feels similar, but I don't know. You are not a person, you are a planet made of roughly 40 trillion cells. That is so much of you that if your cells were human size, you would be as big as 20 Mount Everest. That doesn't put things into perspective. I can barely imagine Mount Everest, let alone 20 of them. For your creepy crawly inhabitants, this makes your body an ecosystem rich in resources and warmth and space. A perfect place to move into and have a family. With some of these guests are welcome, most are not. Your immune system is the guardian of this planet, the force tasked with protecting yourself against the constant danger of invasion. Yeah, I mean, I remember some scientists saying, I don't remember who that was, but, when people make an argument about why not to colonize the planet, people say this is the best planet for us. The Earth was made for humans. Earth is the best and most, hospitable planet for humans and shit like that. And then the scientists say, what you talking about? Earth is constantly trying to kill us every single second. There are millions of bacteria trying to attack us in some way. There are so many countless things that is attacking your immune system. Your immune system is the only reason you're alive, and it is so complex that is ridiculous. I mean, there are diseases, viruses, obviously we know that, right? It's pretty, scars are pretty new right now. And every small disease here and there are constantly trying to attack you. So, basically our immune system is constantly at war. I remember he made a video about immune system related just a month or two ago, where he just shows that one cut in your finger. You're just like, oh, cut, and you just, forget about it. But there is a war going on inside. So yeah, let's watch this one. Remember, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. So I know which type of videos to react to more, I guess. Comment down if you want me to react to a specific video. Check out the reaction I did. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast of different playlists like Kurzgesagt, Warhammer 40k, John Tron, things like that. And yeah, let's watch it.
You're not a person. You're a planet made of roughly 40 trillion cells. There is so much of you that if your cells were human-sized, you'd be as big as 20 Mount Everests. For your creepy crawly inhabitants, this makes your body an ecosystem, rich in resources and warmth and space. A perfect place to move into and have a family.
Oh, wait a second.
While some of these guests are welcome, most are not. Your immune system is the guardian of this planet, the force tasked with protecting yourself against the constant danger of invasion. Unfortunately, your enemies in the tiny world have a huge advantage.
So tiny?
Consider the effort it takes to make a single copy of yourself and your trillions of cells. First, you need to find someone who thinks you're cute, date and be awkward, and if things work out in a complicated dance, two of your cells merge together. Then you need to wait for months while the cell multiplies over and over until it's released into the world as a human being. And even then, you only have a mini copy that needs years to become remotely useful. A bacterium consists of one cell. It can make a fully grown copy in about half an hour. A virus can turn into hundreds within hours and billions within days. Your enemies multiply orders of magnitude faster than you. Even worse, for a bacterium or virus, your body is a hostile...
I love how, basically just said that, it will take years before it's useful. Like, oh yeah, this is a science channel. Yeah, that's definitely a science channel.
...ecosystem applying selective pressure. Because they go through so many generations so quickly, eventually, by pure chance, there will be an individual that mutates and adapts in just the right way to resist your defenses and then multiply quickly again. In other words, you're facing a sheer endless variety of different enemies and you're too slow to keep up with their evolution. This is bad. Luckily, your immune system is just about the most amazing thing ever. The second most complex biological system known to us after the human brain, and so sophisticated that we still haven't discovered all its secrets. Since it's so complicated, we have to simplify and focus on one thing at a time. If you want the full...
This reminds me of one thing. Every time somebody thinks about science fiction world, future world, where there are robots who are self-healing shit and here and there, I always think that our brain and our immune system is so fucking good that we can't comprehend it right now. That's how advanced we are, right? It doesn't matter how much technology we have, we can't even understand that. I mean, we are not technologically there for us to understand our brain and immune system, but we are kind of there to make robots and AI. So every time this science fiction movie says that, robots are everywhere better than humans, they self-heal shit here and there, to me it feels like bullshit, right? Because even if AI become a thing and robots become a thing, I think self-healing would be very limiting compared to humans. In our body, literally any place we get damaged, your body will, basically start to self-heal. That's a really good thing that, it's not easy to mimic, especially in robots. So I guess, in future, let's just say there are AIs and robots. Let's just say there are issues, right? I mean, there will be a thing like, oh, robots are powerful, robots are strong, but they don't have our self-healing ability because humans are advanced. We'll finally figure out that doesn't matter how much in fiction we want robots to be superior. In the end, human body is, in a lot of way too incredible. And whatever we create will not be close to that anytime soon, at least.
Story, wait for the announcement at the end of the video. Okay, so why are we not all killed by some new bacteria or virus? In a nutshell, you actually have two immune systems, the innate and the adaptive immune system. The innate immune system was ready when you were born. It mostly consists of general-purpose soldiers. We introduced them in the last immune video. The adaptive immune system carries two types of cells, T cells and B cells, that are your superweapons and are incredibly effective and deadly for your enemies. These cells are complicated to produce and take a lot of time to deploy, but once they're ready, they pack a real punch. What makes your adaptive immune system so powerful is that it has the largest library in the universe. It has an answer to everything. You have at least one of these super weapon cells inside you to fight the Black Death, the coronavirus, and the first deadly bacteria that will emerge.
Wait a minute, why do I remember watching this? Is this a re-upload? I don't know.
In a city on Mars in 100 years. This makes it possible for you to counter the ability of bacteria and viruses to change so rapidly. How is this possible? To understand what's going on here, we need to take one step back. All organisms on Earth are made from the same basic parts, mostly proteins. Proteins are the building blocks of life and can have billions of different shapes. You can imagine them as 3D puzzle pieces.
Okay, first of all, but sometimes you could think that, simplicity, people mistake simplicity for, I guess, I don't know how else to say this, not being better or technologically advanced. But I think it is better and technologically advanced, because the more simple something is, the, more easier it's to, I guess, repair, more easier to, I guess, control in certain way. So our body cells and everything basically is, pretty similar, right? Proteins and shit, it's pretty similar. One would think that, isn't that primitive? I mean, it's not complex. No, it's good that it's not complex. Because of that, it works like that. Because of that, it's, works really great in us basically. So, because it's not complex, I guess, self-managed, immune system works this great. So, yeah.
There are billions of different puzzle pieces your enemies can use to construct their bodies. Why is this important? Because proteins are, in a way, the language of the micro-world. Cells don't have eyes or ears, so to tell friend from foe, they have to touch them and recognize if their protein is part of a friend or part of an enemy. Recognizing means that cells have countless tiny devices called receptors that are able to connect with a specific protein puzzle piece. So your cells have tiny puzzle pieces on their outsides that are able to click together or recognize other protein puzzle pieces.
What was that? This is pretty simplified. It is all a tiny bit more complex. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Okay, first of all, as you know, what I just said about, it's simple in a sense of how it's a similar cells. Like you said, it's basically proteins in that sense. Obviously, immune system, everything is way too complex. That's the whole point. That's what I just said about comparison with the robots and things. That, we can't even comprehend how complex system it is. But I'm talking about the cells and things.
Pieces on their outsides that are able to click together or recognize other protein puzzle pieces. When a cell connects together with a protein and recognizes it as enemy, it knows that it has to attack. Only if your cells can make this distinction between friend or foe is your immune system able to fight an invader. But since there are billions of possible protein puzzle pieces, this means there are billions of possible enemy puzzle pieces. This is also one of the reasons we still have to deal with diseases like the flu each year. The influenza virus mutates very rapidly, and so the proteins that make up its hull constantly change a tiny bit. The soldiers of your innate immune system have a large number of the puzzle pieces for common bacteria and viruses memorized. That's why they are your all-purpose weapons. But they are ineffective against many billions of mutations and adaptations that your enemies can develop. So the reason you are still alive is that your adaptive immune system is able to recognize between 1 billion and 10 billion different enemy protein puzzle pieces, which is enough to be prepared for every possible enemy.
Yeah, see, the problem with virus and germs are that they are alive, so they can adapt and mutate. That's the problem here. So that is why we will always have problems of, viruses and germs mutating and creating even bigger problem. That's why people are predicting that influenza will come back and it will be much deadlier than Spanish flu was. I mean, that's just scary already. And same thing with the corona and every other virus. The future is kind of, grim in that sense that, viruses will be frequent, especially with global warming. The climate is becoming in a way, the germs will be more and more frequent.
But how is this possible? How could your immune system possibly have this much of a variety to be prepared for every possible protein puzzle piece? Well, the cells of your adaptive immune system found a cheat code, mixing and matching their own genetic code to create this stunning variety of receptors. The details are way too complicated for this video, but in a nutshell, your adaptive immune cells have official permission to take a tiny part of their own genetic code and mix it in random ways to create billions of different receptors. A good way to explain this is by asking you to imagine an army of cooks, with each of them wanting their own special recipe. They have 100 different ingredients to choose from. Each ingredient stands for one tiny piece of genetic code in this metaphor. So each cook takes a few random ingredients and randomly mixes them together. Maybe tomato, chicken, rice and half an onion as entree, marshmallow, pepper, strawberries and a quarter banana as a dessert. Or cucumber, beef, potatoes and 2 carrots, and blueberries, chocolate and cream with a pinch of cinnamon. Even with slight variation and with only 100 ingredients, there are billions of possible recipes. And likewise, with just a small selection of gene fragments, your cells create billions of receptors. The details of this are so cool that they should get their own video, or their own chapter in a book. In any case, by mixing up gene fragments, you get up to 10 billion different combinations. So in the end, you get billions of immune cells, and each of them has one specific and unique receptor, the dish from our metaphor, that is able to recognize one specific protein puzzle piece. In total, you end up with at least one cell for every enemy that could possibly exist. But here we run into a pretty dangerous problem. If your adaptive immune system is making weapons that can attack every possible protein puzzle piece in the universe, wouldn't it also make some that can attack your own cells? Yes, it happens all the time. This is so fundamentally dangerous to your survival that you have a whole organ that does nothing but work on preventing this.
Yeah, so that's, that's pretty damn common. Our body constantly attacks us. That's for certain diseases, right? I mean, doctor just tells you have certain weeks to live in certain diseases. Why? Because your body basically attacks you a lot of times. So, your body attacking you is not pretty, far-fetched. It's a pretty common thing. But, it's necessary thing because, in world, there are so many threats, so many complex things that the immune system, how it works, like he explained, that how he has to create lots of different type of, receptors and things. Obviously, one of them or more of them would attack your own cell and damage you. But that's rare compared to the, defense it gives us, I guess.
The murder university of your thymus. Your thymus is a chicken wing-sized organ above your heart, and you've probably never heard of it. Interestingly, your thymus is one of the reasons why your immune system weakens as you age, because it's in a constant state of decline once you reach puberty. But what does the thymus do? In your murder university, your immune system is putting your adaptive immune cells through an intense and deadly curriculum. Basically, it's showing them all sorts of protein puzzle pieces that are used by your own cells to see how they react. When a young cell recognizes a body puzzle piece and wants to attack it, the teacher's cells order them to kill themselves, and they are eaten up and recycled. The immune system is so particular about this process that around 98% of your adaptive immune cells that enter Murder University die there.
Whoa.
2% graduate and get to do their job of protecting you for real.
Damn, I didn't know that. Thymus. So that's a part of you that, manages immune system like that. Actually checks things. Gives them, exams, let's just say, to see if they pass or not. Holy shit. No, I didn't know that. That is not something that is known, I guess.
This process goes wrong and the cells escape that can recognize your own protein puzzle pieces. This can lead to autoimmune disease, where your immune system attacks your own body from the inside. And this, again, is another story for another time. Okay, let's summarize. Your immune system has two parts, one that defends you right after birth, and one that carries the largest library of superweapons in the universe, but needs to boot up first. To create billions of different superweapons, your adaptive immune cells recombine a part of their genetic code to create a breathtaking variety of attack weapons. Then they enter a murder university that only 2% survive to make sure they don't attack you. And then you end up with billions of different cells that in total are able to protect you against every possible enemy in the universe. Now, wait a second. If this is all true, why do we get sick at all? Why was a new disease like COVID-19 able to kill millions of people? Well, everything we've just learned about is a tiny, tiny window into the amazing struggle for life and death that plays out every day inside your body, and there are so many amazing details and questions here.
It's like saying when you go to war and you have every type of weapon, why do you fear, defeat? I mean, it's a war. You could lose any time, so that's kind of what happens. You get unlucky in that fight against disease. Basically, maybe your immune system detects it very late, right? Or maybe, it doesn't eliminate it just right away because of the certain conditions, just like how it would happen in real life war. And, by the end, your own body while trying to, defeat the enemy hurts your own self. That's how you get, I guess, the lung issues in the COVID and, viruses like that, where you basically suffocate, you need oxygen because your own immune system damaged your lungs at that point.
Does your body actually find the right cell in time to protect you? How do your enemies fight back and overcome your immune system anyway? And what about all the things that didn't fit in this video? Well, today finally marks the release of Immune, a journey into the mysterious system that keeps you alive, written by Philipp Detmer, the founder and head writer of Kurzgesagt.
Okay, so it just got released now. All right. Seriously, I'm gonna check that book out because it's from Kurzgesagt. Why wouldn't you? Seriously, people, go to the original video page link in the description, and from there check out the link for the Immune book. Because if Kurzgesagt made a book, it would definitely be much better. And I love science, for a long time, for years. Anything physics, astrophysics, things like that. But biology is one thing I never, got deep into it before, until I started to react to, I guess, Kurzgesagt. So, I have way too much to learn about that. So I'm definitely checking that book out. because I love science. Learning more science is always better. So yeah, so you are immune against every disease because your body literally prepares for everything. In turns, it has potential to damage your own self. That's how all the autoimmune disease work, right? And there is actually part of your body, one of the organs that nobody knows about. Apparently, it's not that famous, but it's pretty crucial because it checks your immune system, right? It basically it's an inspector for your immune system defense. Lots of immune system people don't even survive. It's like Navy SEAL program or something. Most of them don't survive, but who survives are really good at their job. Right, people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cars for different places. Check out the Inkas. Yeah, I'll see you next time.